I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, great one. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
Good morning, children. I showered today. Not going to the gym, not hiking. It's raining out there. And I put on deodorant, used shampoo today. I am super dapper capper today. This was in the comments section. I find it interesting because we had Tiger Woods and you got Rory McIlroy. Sorry. Two golfers in the United States, largely. McIlroy's from Northern Ireland. But then we are jumping many ponds, going to different cultures because, a year ago, there was the Moroccan player who married a Spaniard and put all the money in his mom's name. And then the gal came after him. And this is from a commenter, one of our Indian agents in the field, Indian, not American Indian. Hey there, Cappy. Fan from India here. Recently, one of our biggest sportsmen, Hardik Pandya, an Indian cricketer, had married a Serbian model. There you go. See, there's some consistencies here. There's some parallels. All right. You got not Western men, athletes, Moroccan dude, Indian dude, there's two Indian dudes he mentions here, but you got three guys now. And then you got to get them European Serbian models. You got to get that Spaniard. You got to get the Australian. I don't know if you've seen the news happening in the West in general, but the women in the West, they're not, especially if you were to pay attention to our sports athletes, I don't think there's a successful marriage in the NBA at all. At all. I don't know one. Football, I don't know. Tom Brady, God almighty, Tom Brady is, do you need a brighter, more shining light? Tom Brady, which I'm trying to think of anyone more peak alpha. 7 Super Bowls? 8? Good looking guy. Still at the age of 45? He's a little bit older. Just a handsome man, an outstanding athlete, very wealthy, physically capable. Still didn't work. Now I think Giselle or whatever the hell her name is. She actually made a fair amount of money herself, so the money, there maybe not as much money troubles as all that. But it's kind of be careful what you wish for. A lot of good stuff does come from being a talented, famous athlete, namely money. And you get to play a game, and it's hard work, but it beats working with spreadsheets or programming code. But boy, man, look, your love life, it's an uphill battle, if not an impossible battle. There's got to be, in fairness and defense, are there examples of Michael Jordan? I always thought Michael Jordan was kind of a Michael Jordan wife. Married and divorced. Juanita Vanoy and Yvette Prieto, 2013. Let's take a look at his wife there. Oh, yeah, she's good looking. He got that smile. Michael Jordan's got that smile. Like, oh, yeah. Look, every picture's got that smile. Look, yeah, okay, there you go. Even Michael Jordan the first marriage wouldn't have lasted. So here, and now look, us mere mortals, us non-top cricketer players, top golf players, top NBA players. The chance of us running into this is low, I admit, but to watch it happen across different cultures, different countries, different sports, different people, but you start picking up some commonality. Oh, you start to have to draw some. Wait, there's some rules universally, universally human rules being applied here. So the commenter who has a One Punch Man is an avatar. Hey there, Cappy fan from India here. Recently, one of our biggest sportsmen, Hardik Pandya, an Indian cricketer, had married Serbian model. Now she's divorcing him for claim on 70% of his riches. We'll get to that. A case like this has already happened with another one of our Indian cricketers, known as Shikhar Dhawan. He lost a lot of money, but what Hardik Pandya did is that he put all of his riches in his mother's name. The case is still going on, but it's interesting enough for you to give it a shot. And it is. And I had to do a little bit of researching there. I found on like the Hindustan Times. We got to look out for speculation and drama and all that. So let us go. Who do I want to do first? Let's do the guy who got shanked. Let's go with Shikhar Dhawan, because this happened in the past. This one is settled. Looks like this was settled in 2023. I really don't like doing this gossipy divorce drama, but there's lessons to pull here. This is on these. It's all love. It's happening now in India, most populous nation now. I think India eclipsed China in terms of most popular. This is happening. Shikhar Dhawan, ex-wife inflicted cruelty, agony on Shikhar Dhawan. What Delhi court said. Mr. Dhawan and Aisha Mukherjee married in 2012 and have a 10-year-old son. Of course, Zoraver Dhawan. Both Aisha and Zoraver are Australian citizens. See, you got to get now. It looks like she's ethnically Indian. Oh, you got to get those white girls though. Aisha was previously married and has 2 daughters with first husband. So I imagine Shikhar is an top cricket player. What are you doing going after the single moms? What? If I'm a top elite athlete, there should be a seminar along with how to save your money and how to protect it, which some people are getting wise putting it in their mom's name. There's got to the athletes out there could definitely use some lessons in the red pill. Protect your assets, protect yourself, save the money. Don't be buying Lambos and stupid ass shit. Visit Dubai. Don't fucking get involved in the life there. A Delhi court on Wednesday granted divorce to cricketer Shikhar Dhawan on the grounds of cruelty inflicted on the cricketer by his estranged wife, Aisha Dhawan. Mr. Dhawan and Aisha married in 2012 and have a 10-year-old son, Zoraver Dhawan. Both Aisha and Zoraver are Australian citizens. Aisha was previously married and has 2 daughters with the first husband. Of course. Guys, there were rules in the past for reasons. Like, yo, you got some other person's kid? No, we're not. No, it's not. Nope. No. Family court judge Harish Kumar accepted Mr. Dhawan's accusations against his wife after it stated that she was unable to prove the allegations as false. Did she even show up? Did she come from Australia, India? The judge observed that Mr. Dhawan was subject to mental agony by his wife, who forced him into being in a long-distance marriage. So I could get other dick. I feel sorry for these athletes. These guys bust their asses off. They work real hard. They may not be the brightest in the group, and they are definitely not the brightest when it comes to street smarts. I guess maybe they just get it thrown at them all the time, and then it just takes a slightly savvy gal to, hey, I can hoodwink this guy for all the money in the world. Long distance marriage. Get the fuck out of here. What appalls me is you guys accept these you accept it. You accept these outlandish requirements. Well, we can't live near. What? Go away. Just go. By living in Australia and keeping him away from his son for years. See, and previous to the Rory McIlroy video I did before, how does that have an effect on this guy's mental game? How does that affect his career and profession? In his petition, Mr. Dhawan claimed that his wife had promised to move to India to live with him as he was unable to undertake a similar move to Australia owing to his career commitments. See, there it is. I want a man who makes all the money in the world. It's like, okay, well, then he's kind of married to his job for, why don't I see you? Guess this gal didn't want to see him. However, soon after, she backtracked and refused to move as it would force her to give up custody of her 2 daughters to her ex-husband. Oh, the complications. There it is. Maybe not even malicious, just stupid moves. She had kids that she was going to stick with the guy. Then you married a gal with kids that weren't yours. Promised to move to India. His wife. So they're already married, and then she promises to move to India sometime. He, Dhawan, for no fault of his own, had been through immense agony and anguish of living separately from his own son for years. Even though the wife denied the allegation, submitting that, though she genuinely wanted to live in India with him, yet she did not choose to contest the claim. The respondent, by conducting herself in the manner, has inflicted such cruelty, agony, and trauma on him that it was impossible for the petitioner to save the marriage, the court said. Forced to pay child support, sell properties. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Dhawan also alleged that Aisha forced him to make her the owner. Forced! Gun to the head, forced. No, it was the who say. Man, you guys do dumb shit for pussy. Look, I've done dumb shit for pussy. Okay, we all got to stop doing dumb shit for pussy. Forced him to make her the owner of the 3 properties that the cricketer bought in Australia. She owned 99% of one of the properties, was a joint owner of the other 2. The court said Aisha, well, he agreed to it. If you sign on the dotted line, it's hers, or half of it's hers. The court said Aisha was unable to prove that she did not compel Mr. Dhawan to make her an owner of the property, and that she also contributed funds towards their purchase. Yeah, how much? Yeah, well, here's my $3. You contribute the remaining $8 million. The respondent was required to prove that the properties were purchased out of her fund as well as her name was included out of love and affection. Thus, Dhawan's allegation that she compelled him to make her owner to some extent in all 3 properties, or that she pocketed sale proceeds thereof, has got to be believed as true, it added. The court also accepted Mr. Dhawan's allegations that Aisha forced him to pay child support not only for their son, but also her 2 daughters, for whom she was already receiving support from her first husband. I am not aware, not familiar at all with Indian family court law or Australian family court law. But as I pointed out before, with Tiger Woods, not his ex-wife, his ex-girlfriend, not wife, girlfriend. He had a $30 million lawsuit brought against him. Now it was dismissed, or it was rescinded. They stopped with that law. Guys, how about you just not deal with this to begin with? There is no, what was it? One of you made a good comment. I believe it's James Sexton, the lawyer. He had a quote. Presumably, there is an issue or a problem that a marriage would fix. Before you get married, what is that issue or problem that marriage will fix? And will marriage fix that? It's a great, I know, for all of human history, we've all gotten married and had kids because that's just what you do. So there's tremendous social pressure across all cultures, all countries, to go and get married. That's what you do. There is also now huge legal risk, probably across the world, associated with it. But it's a great question. Just because society does it, why do we do it? What is the problem that marriage fixes? What is it the solution to? What is that the problem that the solution to? If there is no problem, then there's no point in getting married. None. Before y'all, not you guys, the those people, before they come in, but how are we going to have kids and have sex? I don't know. Have you seen like half the American population just have kids out of wedlock and not get married? I mean, I know they're probably of the lower classes and poor and the kids are just as fucked up. But I'm saying with some intelligent thought, you could still have a family, you could still have love, you could still have sex without the risks of marriage. There is no reason to go and sign a legal contract called marriage with anyone. None. Whether it's here in the United States, or Australia, or India, depending on wherever this is. It sounds like it's India. And you just, here's another thing. Okay, fine. The court agreed with Mr. Dhawan on this. That's an Indian court. The assets are in Australia. The money's already been paid. Well, how is he going to hunt her down? Let's say the Indian court says and orders Aisha to pay X amount of dollars in compensation or recompense. Well, is that going to happen? She's just going to stay in Australia. That's another risk, by the way, in my consulting company, at International Athlete Love Consultant. Guys, especially the Morocco guy married a Spaniard. This guy married an Australian. The other guy, we'll get to later, married a Serbian. Stop doing that. Stop going overseas to Western nations. Serbia, maybe not necessarily Western. Stop doing that. Please. There's not a cute gal in your neck of the woods, and she's ethnically Indian. What? You're a cricket player in India. You couldn't find a cute girl in India with 700 million Indian women? This was a single mom with a tattoo. Jesus Christ. Oh. Visitation rights to Shikhar Dhawan. The court has now granted mandatory visitation rights to Dhawan to meet his son in India and Australia. It also ordered Aisha to bring her son to India for visitation. How do you force that? If she's in Australia, the Indian courts don't have jurisdiction there. Visitation purposes, including overnight stay with Mr. Dhawan and his family, including school holidays. Look at this. Look at this. You got to go get a court and a lawsuit when you're trying. What gets me most about the, again, I've pointed it out before, all while you got shit going on, all while you got to whatever, work a job, run a business, play at A++, top 1% of 1% level game. All of this shit while you got shit going on. And this isn't about somebody stole your car or your shirts weren't ironed the right way. These are your fucking kids and all of your money. I think the only thing that's more important would be your health, which probably doesn't bode well under divorce and marital strife. So that was her. No, that was Shikhar Dhawan. So then I looked up Hardik Pandya. And this is from the Tribune. There's some Hindu subtitles, so I believe this is from India. Hardik Pandya may end up losing 70% of his property if he divorces wife Natasha Stankovic, report says. And a lot of this is all speculation, so I don't want to. I think this is a gossip website. A tabloid. Rumors swirl. Rumors. There's the British influence. Rumors. With the labours and the programmies. Rumors swirl in the social media after star Indian cricketer Hardik Pandya and his wife Natasha Stankovic allegedly sought divorce. The two tied the knot May 2020, amid the coronavirus-induced lockdown and our parents of a 3-year-old boy named Agastya Pandya. Their separation rumors surfaced online after netizens noticed that the model removed the Pandya's surname from her Instagram handle. There you go. Okay, look, okay, with a whole other kind of got a rule. Don't trust pretty girls under 30. Just a rule. I know it's not fair, but just as a rule of thumb, you married an Instagram model. This would not be necessarily a very deep dive course I'd offer professional athletes. This would be kind of 101. Actually, you guys could just go watch Fresh and Fit and kind of get the gist of it. However, their alleged separation caught everyone's attention after Reddit post titled "Natasha and Hardik separated" went viral. Okay, so it's speculation. It's Reddit. It's the internet. Sure, there's a little bit of smoke. Name missing. You're not seeing pictures of each other. Post claimed the two have not been posting pictures with each other and questioned the absence from IPL 2024 matches. Hardik was appointed the captain of the Mumbai Indians for the 2024 season, replacing hitman Rohit Sharma. But under his captaincy, the Mumbai Indians had a horrendous IPL campaign. His team finished bottom of the league's points table, winning only 4 of the 14 matches. Boy, that could have an effect. Rory, he didn't have any effect. He won championship. I am not picking on Hardik. This is what I'm talking. This is probably more what's going to happen is you are not at your game because your mind ain't in the game. Pandya was also regularly booed during MI matches as fans were disappointed with him. Oh man. As per a report on Mint, some users were skeptical about the original Reddit post sharing the separation rumors, and then ensuing reports about Hardik Pandya losing 70% of his property in the case of divorce. One such user wrote, it could be treated as fake news. All right, so this turns out, okay, there's just speculation, but this is from Republic World again. I don't know if this is the Daily Mail of India or what. Hardik Pandya's wealth registered under his mother's name. Oh, is it now? Can Natasha Stankovic claim 70% of the property? 70%. Now, I don't know where that number comes from. Let's say, okay, that's an overestimation. That's a flaring clickbait title. Let's just say it's 30%. 30%. Say it's 30%. It's 20%. Why does this guy have to deal with this? Your wife takes away the surname. The wife now is not posting pic. Your wife ain't at the games no more. I'm not much of one where, oh yeah, you got to be present. Like I can compartmentalize. Like I don't know whether I got support from family or not. That really hasn't factored in because it ultimately doesn't matter. Like, well, fine, you're in the stands or not. I still got a job to do. I still got shit going on. So it hasn't affected me all that much. But your wife ain't there, like isn't on your team in a life sense. She got rid of the last name. And dude, that's going to cause some worry and problems. That's going to have an effect. And then even if you got the mental tax, then you got let's call it 30%. 30% tax. You got a kid involved. That's got to wear heavier than anything else, I'd imagine. Talking to guys that had kids and they went through divorce, that's got to weigh heavily on you. But this guy, at least he's got the money problem. In theory, he got it. The money is with his mom. Let's read here quickly. Striking reports have scurried about a possible turmoil in the marriage of India cricketer Hardik Pandya and Natasha Stankovic. As per speculations, the couple's heading towards the divorce settlement. Stankovic is set to have a claim of 70% of Pandya's wealth. However, as assertions are rife, an old video of Hardik Pandya stating his mother owns his entire collections of assets is going viral. Interview before he got married, met a relative. His mother has a say on whatever he earns. State he does not trust himself when it comes to finances. Trust his mother for it. There you go. Yeah, the trust of mom. Invest in the trust of mom. Absolutely. God bless you moms out there. God bless you all. He also made it known that having all the assets registered on his mother names keeps in a risk of transferring 50% of it to someone else in the future at bay. There you go. There you go. Mummy Boli Tumhari accounts me main partner. Okay. This is this is in a different language. Okay. He added having a car to having a house to everything. I said, I don't trust myself. I won't take it in my name. I don't want to give 50% to anyone in the future. 50% will bother me a lot. You darn right. You're a 50% slave. It's better to take it in your name. 50% will be safe. While considerable time has passed, it's anybody's guess who holds the key to his wealth now. However, if Pandya owns nothing, there'll be nothing left to claim as well. It is not the worst thing to put your wealth in the trust of mom. If you trust your mom, or there's a trust. But even then, depending on the country, like, you got to pierce through the corporate veil. That really is the assets over there. As we may have seen with how ethical courts could be here with the Trump conviction. It's just like, well, wait a minute. Nah, those rules don't apply to you because I don't like you. Fuck the law. I'm a judge. I come up with some weird, obscure rationalization. And it goes back to A World Without Men, the book I wrote. It's one thing if men are not positively incentivized by society to work hard. Okay? That's one thing. Fine. A lot of women don't want to get married. A lot of people don't want to have kids. I think younger generations are becoming less materialistic. Like, forget it. I just want to stay at home and relax and have my peace, which is a good development. Right? But without being positively encouraged or motivated to produce, men are like, yeah, you're going to tax me at what rate? No, I'm not going to. I got to do what? Get a master's degree? No, I'll just spend less money. I'll just live at home. I'll just take the bus. So there's that. Men are positively motivated by minimalist lifestyle. And there's not a lot of positive motivation after taxation and this and that. Like, yeah, that's too much work. I'm not going to do it. But then there is a negative motivation of a punishing, a deterring effect, where if you do get involved, here are tremendous financial and legal risks, especially in these particular cases associated with marriage, which is a 50% tax on everything, starting roughly ever so. All right. 50% tax, 50% of my wealth is gone. 50% of all the income that I saved that was already taxed at an income tax level is gone. Then you throw in also alimony and all this other stuff. Young men see this across all countries. And it doesn't matter if it's taking place in India or Morocco or Australia or the United States or Northern Ireland. All these guys are seeing this. Seeing what happened to try, like, no, we're not going to do that. And as I pointed out before, the majority of 60% of GDP growth 60% of GDP comes from men. All GDP. Right? Roughly the same amount of workers, but majority of economic production comes from men. When you look at stuff that matters, now sports ultimately doesn't matter. You'd probably prefer an electrical grid over professional sports. But when it comes to stuff that matter, it switches. And depending on what you consider very serious and mandatory, it could be as high as 95% or, more not around 75, 80%. But the majority of the economic production does come from men, especially the stuff that really matters. You have no idea. I mean, I do, but I think the policymakers and governments and all that, you have no idea when sensational front page news, whether it's a tabloid or not, but the fact this is happening, how that affects men's motivation to work and certainly their motivations to get married and have families. You throw in, and I don't know, I'd be very curious about India. Like, did you guys have your baby boomer generation just go through the divorce Olympics? Or men are like, whoa, is this a relatively new thing? But here in the West, where it's just like, oh my God, divorce, you throw in what personally happened to all these boys. And the Scooby-Doo mystery continue. I don't know why men are working so much. So there we go. Lessons from overseas. Link below. The book numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Please read that so you know what the risks are, your rate of returns are. Let's go through the super chats early this morning. Cricket, well, it's not necessarily cricket. It's just it's a lesson that came. What well, I'll give you an example. Up here, you bring a good point. In economics, there are certain things that are endemic to human nature, regardless of where you are. So, for example, you want to prove that communism versus capitalism worked. Well, people would say, well, that's a different culture. That's a different culture. That's a different culture. Okay, what about East and West Germany, North and South Korea? You know, that kind of thing. You have the same group of people, ethnically speaking, but two different economic models imposed on it. What happens? So you eliminate a lot of arguments about, well, there's technically other things that are very universal and fascinating about human nature. What marriage? Why is it no matter what the religion or where or who or when or what, it usually was man and woman coming together to form family. You know, and there was usually a ceremony involved, and society had great pressure and investment in men and women getting married. Why do we all have wedding ceremonies? They may vary in color and costume, but it's very, and it tells you, well, there's something consistent about human behavior across all of us. Gold, precious metals. Why did gold and silver? Why did the Incans find gold valuable? And people in the Hindu Valley and ancient China. Why was gold all over the place valuable? Because it's rare and fits all the qualities and traits of good money. And so when you see consistent behavior in, you know, Morocco, Australia, this, that, it's like, well, hey, there's a lesson to learn for everybody here. And that is have the trust of mom. Nonstop Dre, $2. Trad Cops. Tom Brady just didn't play hard enough. Exactly. It's Tom Brady. Just like how much. And I was reading about like Rory making a $22 million house he's got. Like, oh, just forget it. Like, forget it. I'd be fine if there was no ramifications for the average man. This is just Hollywood rich person drama. Okay, fine. But it's not, because this has an effect for you guys. Because look, you have to work so hard now. And there's still no guarantee it's going to be happy. And it'd be fine. It would be fine if it was just cultural institutions and religion enforcing marriage. It's not. Now the government's involved. And now you got to get courts involved. And now you don't get to see your kids, or potentially. You guys want the population to grow again? Right? Oh my God, birth rates are so low. What are we going to do? You want it to grow again? The government should get the fuck out of marriage all over the place. Everywhere. Yes, if there's kids involved, yes, because that's an innocent third party. But whether regulating men's and women's personal relationships with each other, the fuck out of here. I'm not saying if there's domestic violence, that's assault. There's already rules for it. Why the fuck is government involved at all in marriage? Cappy's big lover, Mike Obama, $2. But you're an athlete and you married me. I'm not an athlete. I don't make my money being an athlete. Nonstop Dre, $2. Men are in love, women are in business. Coach Greg asks, I should listen to a little CGA. I haven't tuned into him for a while. Shark Toys, hey, everybody go subscribe to his channel. He's the guy who does the music for a couple of the intros. $10. Cappy, your next book should be Athlete Economics. Obviously, no one is telling these men the right information. Coaches, agents, family, not one person cared enough to have a tough conversation. I thought about that. More so along the lines of, look, you're a dumb jock, okay? You're a really highly trained and an excellent dumb jock, but you're a dumb jock at the end of the day nonetheless. You can't be trusted with half your money, and you need someone that you can trust. And I don't mean that like in a snake oil salesman. Ooh, no, the trust of Aaron. And we're going to take half your fucking money, and we're going to put it in a trust or some legal shield. It's going to invest in your 401k, IRA, whatever, diversified portfolio. I take like a 0.5% management fee or whatever every year. And then when the lawsuits come, the lion's share of your assets cannot be taken. And then when you get injured and you're not taken up and your professional career is over, right? You've at least saved yourself $3 million and now you can retire. Or you could do that, MC Hammer could have probably used that. And anyone who makes a lot of money, celebrities, whatever. You make, Vanilla Ice. Hey, save your money. And here it is. And like, look, we agreed to this. You don't get to collect this until you're 50 years old. And then when they're 50 years old, like, oh yeah, I am sure glad and happy. And then they'd learn, and then they'd be retired. They'd be set. And their multiple ex-wives would get nothing. But I don't know. It sounds like real work. It sounds like I'd have to do some. JJJS, $2 Canadian. It's a covenant between man, woman, and God, but divorce. Yeah, and fine. And then there's a divorce, and that's between the man, woman, and God, and the community, and the religion, or whoever, the religious community that sanctified the marriage. Why the fuck is Joe Biden or Governor Nome or the county involved? What the fuck is that? Or whatever. I don't know what the divorce courts are like over in India, but is that at the provincial level? Is it the national level? Is it the local level? Why is it at any government level? I roll, therefore I am 20 generous Canadian dollars. I'm in my mid-20s. My mother asked me when I was going to get married and give her grandkids. Why, I replied, so I can get fucked and divorced. Good for you. Those boomers need to hear it. She had no answer. There you go. Mid-50s now, flying solos, as Pop would say, winning. There it is. There it is. My parents knew not to ask. They knew, like, I've never had my parents, well, when you get married and having kids, because they knew. They're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Garrett Howard, $5, early 30s, buddy, recently getting divorced. He's a vet, mechanical engineering student, and hired for NASA intern. 6'3", deadlifts 400. Deadlifts 400 plus pounds. It's not us. No, it's not. Look, now, let's be intellectually honest. You can't be an asshole. You can't be intellectually dishonest. You can't be running around cheating on the girl. You can't treat them like shit. You have to be fair. You have to be just. You have to love them. You have to be a good man. You have to work. You have to contribute. You can't be a parasite. Go way back. I wrote an article on Captain Kaplan called Why We All Have to Be Cary Grant. But as long as you are a good man, and you put forth your effort, and you support yourself, and you stay in shape, as long as you are a good person, then it's not you. And then you're like, okay, I did everything right. It's not me. And that is a tremendous amount of weight off your mind when it comes down to, like, why isn't the marriage not working? Why is this relationship not working? You know it isn't you. It's her. But why isn't she? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a her problem. What more could this guy have done? JJJS, $2 Canadian. Did you hear Harrison Butker's speech? They met. Who's Harrison Butker? I don't know who Harrison Butker is. I'm trying to avoid politics today. I just want to go and relax. Dr. Paradox, $2. To tune of Single Mom, Now Are Your Power. Fuck you, Doc. Doc Paradox, $5. Shark Taz makes a good point, building on his suggestion the community needs an alpha economics handbook. Us rich, pretty guys are often ignorant. Yeah, but boy, there's a lot. I can't ride them all. I know Dre and we all joke about it, but that orgasms per capita, that is actually a very germane, important economics book that should be written. I got the pamphlet I'm writing on vasectomies, an economy of one, that has to be written. And then, but those are more important, I'd argue. Alpha economics, I don't know. Maybe the internet's going to wake up rich, wealthy men. Tiger knew after his divorce. Tiger knew he had agreements with his girlfriend. She still brought a lawsuit. Didn't go anywhere, but she still brought it. That if you're, you see these drafts, these young men wearing the ridiculous colored ties and every dope clapping them on. There should be a fucking a good lawyer, not a scummy lawyer. There should be a good lawyer and a good certified financial planner or CPA right there in that should come that the NFL, NBA, MLB. They should all have legal. Look, if Google here, guys, ready to write down a quote? Here's another quote. If Google and Apple and all these other progressive employers pay for women's egg freezing, the least you NFL people could do, and the game of your professional athletes would improve, is to offer as a service legal and investment counsel. Like, kind of create a pension that cannot be rated, by the way. Like, look, this goes into a fund. It is an asset protected fund. Okay, no one can get it. And here's some financial advice, and please do what they fucking tell you. Matter of fact, you can't play until, I mean, that would be in the best, as a fringe benefit, all these different sports leagues, that would be something you should offer if you gave a shit about your employees. Burbshide, 2 Australian. Anecdotally, women in India getting more feminized. Yeah, there's we got audience all over. Obviously, we have some audience members in India, and they've sent me a couple articles about different crazy divorce things happening. And it's not that I don't believe them, but it's also a population of 1.2 billion. It's a large country. And how much of it is clickbait? How much of it is, was it skewed a certain way? I don't just like assume what I hear from Fox News or CNN is 100% true. 1.4 billion. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. China's population going down. India's going up. But yeah, it looks like we got some immigrants and some representation here domestically, like Mandy Kling, whatever her name is, the gal did Velma. You see a lot in academia, though that's more selection bias because of academia. You see Indian women in academia, and the vast majority are IT engineer. God bless them. But then there's a couple who major in the left bullshit stuff and like, oh, we're so oppressed. It's like, yes, because you're a sociology major. But there is a feminist movement in India, no doubt. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, $10. Let me tell you a fact about Mexico. Just know that if you have a girlfriend for 5 years or more and you don't marry her or marry someone else, she could take you to court for leading her on and wasting her time. See? No. Why? Alex, you bring up a great point. And this is another universal thing that happens across different. There is always some cost associated with becoming romantically involved with a woman in every country. It's are you wasting her time? You've got to pay a tax. It didn't work out, alimony. There's always a price in courtship on both sides. Men and women have to invest their time in each other. Usually there is a much larger financial investment from men into women in the courtship as well. You are paying the woman to hang out with, generally speaking, dates, picking up cars, all that other stuff. But they sure seem to, in law, they make it law. Did you spend this much time with her in that house? Well, then you're married and now she's entitled to shit. And then, being completely unaware, they wonder why men don't want to invest or chase after women. Or if they do, it's like, no, you're over there. No, I'm over here. No, I'm going overseas. They don't understand. You can't, honey and vinegar. Oh my God, we're using so much vinegar. We're going to make it a legal you do. You make it a legal risk to interact with women, not even marry. Dating for 5 years, and now I have legal financial responsibilities? Shit, I think I've dated a girl. No, that was only 4 years. and now, and going on to a granular individual, like what if, I regret having sex. oh, there was forcible bedroom, not fun time. And the courts and the legal systems all like, oh my God, did it happen? Can lose their job. You're making it prohibitively, not just risky, not just financially and legally risky. You are making it in an increasing number of instances prohibitively risky to interact with women. And there's not even like necessarily a calling in the force of government or court. We could look at corporate America, where a lot of men are like not mentoring after the Me Too thing and the Kavanaugh deal, where guys are like, no, the door's open. No, I am not traveling alone with this girl on business. And you know who it's hurting? Well, it's hurting both of us. It's hurting both men and women. Because men are like, no, I can't interact. And I think all I can see as government solution is we need to make it more risky. We need to add more risk. We need to make it more things illegal. And then you go, oh my God, the men aren't they're participating less. It's like you made it more legally risky. Like if you were to pet a dog, oh, there's a dog, pet the dog. Oh, but you might get a pet the dog tax. Oh, okay, well, I'm probably not going to pet dogs then. Well, you're going to go to jail if you pet the wrong dog. Well, I'm definitely not petting the dog then. If you look at the dog fun, okay, I'm just going to avoid dog parks and just going to become a cat person. Why aren't men buying dogs? Here's the kicker. She doesn't even have to live with you nor have slept with her. No. No. That's good to know, Alex, because, Mexico's right there. Second world, more, quote, traditional country. A lot of guys might be tempted to passport bro over there. No. Look, to the governments of the world, you unfortunately have to consider men's interests. I know that sucks. I know you really hate that, but you have to consider men's interest. And a lot of you might be tempted to say, no, we don't, because we get our votes from women. I know how politics works. You get voted in, and we're gonna curry the female vote. Yeah, you see, but that's not a hollow threat. There is teeth to that threat. Not that we're threatening you do this or else, but if you don't consider men's interests, you don't have an economy. That's the whole premise of my book, A World Without Men. You will not have an economy. I mean, you'll have an economy. It'll be a shitty one, but you won't have one that functions all that well. And we're right at that point. We're right at that point where men are disincentivized. Look at labor force participation rates. And you're going to do more? If there was a savvy, forward-looking government, right, left, Democrat, Republican, they say, oh, shit. We got to start restructuring some things and get men back into the labor force. We got to incentivize them again. And a lot of it doesn't even have to do with, well, we got to make women nice again or whatever, make it legally less risky. Not requiring master's degrees to have entry-level positions. That might be. There are some secular things you could do. But man almighty, you made marriage toxic. You made courtship and dating other people toxic. Pringles can with veins, $5. Your Honor, he stopped texting me after sex, so I revoke consent 15 years later. I know. The Kavanaugh thing, what was it, 36 years later? Was it 26 years later? Now I'm filing a complaint. Arnav Ghosh, 100 Indian rupees. Here, I believe this is the requester. If you ever want more terrible stories from India, let me know. Love you loads, Kepi. No, that's all right. If you can, Arnav, don't flood me with them. But if you find something that is proof, the couple of them are speculative, like this was said on Reddit. If you find something where an Indian court made a ruling and it's a controversial ruling where like, oh yeah, well, sure, the law said this, but in these specific circumstances, because he's a really successful cricket player, we violated the law. That's the shit that I want to know. That's what I want. I don't want my email box flooded. But if you find something that's like, hey, like, okay. All right. That's it. The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women, link below. God, don't get married, guys. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.